When you hear the word opportunity, what do? A, grab it by the horns, seize the opportunity, and make your dreams come true? Or B, stand there and just let it pass you by? And that's what lies ahead for 6 WWE superstars in 2 weeks' time. A chance of a lifetime to seize the Money in the Bank briefcase and to realize their dream of becoming the WWE Champion. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to YouTube's longest weekly running episodic show in history. This is We Love It Raw. Before I talk about a Money in the Bank match, I have a big announcement to make. July 19th on Tuesday, SmackDown will be going live, as it was mentioned, all across social media. Which only now means that the brand extension draft is on its way back. But the question is going to be this: which superstars are going to go to SmackDown and which are going to stay on Raw? And who's going to control SmackDown and control Raw? That's still yet to be decided. We're still a month away from this happening. But we did get a possible glimpse of who could be running SmackDown yet again.
Wait a minute! What? You're kidding me! He's back! The player! Teddy Long! Theodore Rivers Long is back! Get it, Teddy! I love it! Holla, holla, holla! My favorite general manager of all time! All right! Where you see... that SmackDown is going live on Tuesdays. So I am back to take the longest running wrestling episode. Well, let me get this right. I am back to take the longest running wrestling show in television history to a brand new era.
So he makes his case. He's done it before with SmackDown. He wants to do it again. But this time, he feels that he can take SmackDown over Monday Night Raw and have SmackDown as a must-watched show in history. But that's a month away. And it was great to see Teddy Long back, and it was great to see him make a point about why he wants to run SmackDown again. But that's not what we're going to talk about for this whole show, no. We are going to focus on Money in the Bank, because it's just 2 weeks away. And we're going to start, ladies and gentlemen, with the 6 men that are competing to become the next Mr. Money in the Bank. Dean Ambrose, Alberto Del Rio, Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Sami Zayn, and of course, Kevin Owens. And each are making their points on top of ladders. Because that's what you have to do in a match like this. Climb the ladder, grab the briefcase, and become the next Mr. Money in the Bank and future WWE Champion. And I would have to say that Kevin Owens made the biggest point of that all segment right there. This guy, ladies and gentlemen, is a multiple-time Intercontinental Champion. Okay? He has what it takes. He's got the credentials. And the points he made, that was when he becomes the Money in the Bank winner and the next WWE champion, that he's going to give everybody a shot, except for Sami Zayn. Okay, granted, good point. Then you have Dean Ambrose. Longest United States champion in history of the WWE. 5-time Slammy Award winner, multiple-time champion, tag team, and intercontinental. Came close to winning the Royal Rumble. Okay. And he makes his point that if he becomes the next WWE champion, he'll give everybody a shot, including bears, snakes, rabbits, wolves, anybody. Anybody that he feels that he'll give a shot. Then you have Chris Jericho. Here's where I got really interesting, folks. Okay? Chris Jericho, perched on top of his ladder, fabricated one of the biggest lies in the history of the WWE. We all know Chris Jericho, the inventor of the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania a few years ago. Granted, great idea. It turned into its own pay-per-view. I like the concept. But the concept quickly turned to where Jericho was caught with his mouth wide open because he says that he is a multiple-time Money in the Bank winner. Now that's funny because even I don't remember Chris Jericho winning Money in the Bank. No. Neither does everybody else. Neither does Ambrose, Zayn, Owens, Cesaro, and Del Rio. None of them believe that Jericho won it. And Jericho tried to make his point, but it came to no avail, which then led to a insinuated all-out melee. And after the melee, Stephanie shows up. And she wasn't too thrilled, number one, to see Teddy Long, but her main focus was getting people ready for Money in the Bank. So she made a slew of matches. And we're going to get into those matches as this show progresses right along. Okay? So now I want to focus on the tag team division in the WWE. Now this tag team division is getting hot and heavy. We have teams that are vying to be the next WWE World Tag Team Champions. Teams of the Dudleys, teams of Enzo and Cass, and of course the Vaudevillains, are all aiming to dethrone the New Day, the longest reigning tag team champions in modern WWE history. And we were supposed to have a true number one contender at Extreme Rules and at Payback, but of course injuries prevented that from happening. So with that failing to happen, it was automatically granted that the Vaudevillains were going to be the next number one contender. But the Dudleys had other plans, okay? And so did Enzo and Cass. And since we still don't have a true number one contender, we now have a fatal four-way match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. The New Day, the Dudleys, the Vaudevillains, Enzo and Cass. The only question is who's going to seize that chance and become a WWE Tag Team Champion, either for the 10th time or for the first time. Because all these teams that are in this match are viable champions in their own mind. But if I was the betting man, since we're going to be in Vegas in 2 weeks, and if I was a betting man, I bet on the New Day. But unfortunately, the reign's going to come to an end. And I have a feeling it's going to be the Enzo and Cass. Let's see if my prediction is right. I could be wrong, like I always am, or I could be right. We're going to find that out sooner than later. We got 2 weeks to wear that, folks, so let's see what happens. Then we're going to talk about John Cena and AJ Styles. Now, we all know John Cena last week made his so-called triumphant return back to the WWE. Much to the chagrin of myself and others, but to the likings of every other body that apparently likes a stale piece of crap wrestler. So, as Cena was back last week, he's talking and saying, that the new era is something great for the WWE, but the new era will have to go through him. Out comes AJ Styles. They have a confrontation. Out comes the club. We thought they were going out there to attack Cena and AJ. Turns out AJ ambushed John Cena to a point where John Cena was incapacitated. Fast forward to Monday night. John Cena wants to confront AJ and the club, and he gets his wish. He is confronted by AJ Styles. He is confronted by the club. And basically saying that AJ Styles is sick and tired of John Cena. He's sick and tired of the reactions, the crowds, and the likeliness of John Cena. He's sick and tired of it. He wants to put that to an end, because AJ Styles feels that this is his time to shine in the WWE and nobody else's, not including John Cena. So Cena wanted to fight, and they were about to fight. And I mean, they were about to fight big time, worse than I think they did last week. But as they were getting into the ring, they backed off. The club and AJ backed off. Now, was that a brilliant move? I don't know. Was it a stupid move? Many have said yes, because many are feeling that AJ Styles, ladies and gentlemen, is scared of John Cena. But then again, you have a lot that are saying that John Cena is scared of the newcomer in AJ the Phenomenal Styles. So interpret it as any way you want. That match, now a Money in the Bank match, should be very, very interesting. Will the old guy win, or will the new guy win? Find out in 2 weeks, folks. We're going to see who does that. Upset or victory. Then we had a very interesting look back at Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Now, we all know these two were former members of the Shield, the greatest faction in the WWE for over the last couple of years. Then they all went their separate ways and each have tasted success in WWE singles competition. So, we all know that, again, now that Rollins was out for quite some time because of that injury in Dublin against Kane in a match. And it's a freak accident. It happened. And we all know that Seth Rollins made a shocking return at Extreme Rules after a war between AJ and Roman Reigns. And we heard last week that Seth Rollins is out to accomplish one thing, and that is take back the WWE Championship that he never lost. And he has a point. So we look at Monday and the flashback that took place. And it was quite the interesting two-part series, folks, okay? I really thought what made that whole thing good was, the reflection of them in the Shield. And the reflection of how Rollins wants the WWE title and how Reigns wants to keep the WWE title. So overall, the segment was fantastic. The flashback, I think, outdid itself. If you don't believe me, look it up. Okay? Look up Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, flashback, two-part series. you will be intrigued by what they have to say. And now for the coup de grace of this show. The matches that were made by Stephanie McMahon after the earlier brawl to start off Monday Night Raw. Our first match, ladies and gentlemen, is Chris Jericho and Cesaro. Both are incredible talented wrestlers in the WWE. And they put on a great match. We had a swinging, we had the walls, we had a code breaker, but in the end, we had a tap out by Chris Jericho, making Cesaro the winner. Momentum is on his side, heading into the Money in the Bank ladder match. We also had some other matches because of this brawl. Sami Zayn, he went off against Del Rio. We had Ambrose and Owens. And the momentum shifts because Ambrose would win, Zayn would win. We have momentum now shifted on everybody's side but Chris Jericho's. So here's the question I'm going to ask everybody that listens to We Love It Raw. Out of all those matches that we heard on Monday night and saw, okay? Whether it was Cesaro, Jericho, Ambrose, Owens, Zayn, Del Rio, who do you think has the biggest advantage heading into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view? And who has the greatest chance to seize the Money in the Bank briefcase and become the next WWE World Champion? I'm going to let you take some time to really, really think this through. And I want to hear what a lot of you have to say when it comes to that. Myself, if I was the betting man, Dean Ambrose. All signs are pointing to Dean Ambrose. So I want to hear what everybody has to say. Shout out to us on our YouTube page. Shout out to us on our Facebook page. Use the hashtag Ambrose wins, hashtag Jericho wins, hashtag Del Rio wins, hashtag Owens wins, hashtag Cesaro wins, or hashtag Zayn wins. Use the hashtag to you think will win the Money in the Bank briefcase match. It's going to be interesting, folks. We're in for a bumpy ride. It's not going to get any smoother. It's going to get crazier. And God knows what's going to happen when we have Money in the Bank. I look forward to input. I look forward to shouting out some of the results next week on our show. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for We Love It Raw. But before we sign off, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that the sports world lost a great man in Muhammad Ali. And the tributes and the outpouring show of love for him is outstanding. He was one of the best, if not the greatest champion in boxing history. He had matches at Madison Square Garden, matches in the Thriller in Manila. He had fights against Joe Frazier, Joe Foreman, Sonny Liston, Lennox Lewis, and all had but praise for Mr. Ali. And to close out the show, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with one of his most famous quotes: "Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee." Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, the boss. And for my executive producer, Mr. Alex A.S. Caldero, and for technical support in Vanessa, Cruz, and others, this has been We Love It Raw. We will see you next week for the Money in the Bank preview edition of the show. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, float like a butterfly, and again, sting like a bee. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali.